Yo, what you for? Ma Obibia Apaba, about Cable TV. Cable TV, dear. I want to win and send me free. So, open say, what take Abrabomun 7 now, take politics, the mood details a woman, Tia Cable TV. Obama Obibia, yeah, what you can, Cable TV, a 1 year. Now, Asamoah Abeto J, Tifo, you're doing training a dema.
Away from the election. Now, send me a near Brewogana, and easy. So, allow me a few minutes today to spill my guts on some of the things. Today, the first thing is to talk about the rule of Nanado, or should I say the MPP in the last 8 years. It has been that MPP rule. And if you ask me right now, there's an old movie. You know it. Maybe time near Kano, your friend on the waterfront, and it was played by one of the greatest actors of all time, Marlon Brando. Some of the older ones, me and Apple will remember Marlon Brando. There was a line that Marlon Brando said in the movie that I want to start with. He was a boxer, and at one point he was telling his coach, he said, I could have been a champion. I could have been a contender.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum, which is what I am.
Do you know why I'm saying this? Because Nana Addo, His Excellency the President, Nana, you could have been a champion. Nana, you could have been a contender. But the sad thing is that you dropped the ball. For those of you who do not understand the expression drop the ball, check it out. Go Google whatever AI and besides, what is drop the ball? Drop the ball is something that is more intense than failure. Drop the ball goes beyond failure. Sadly, Nana Addo, you could have been a champion. You could have been a contender, but you dropped the ball. Why do I say you could have been a champion, Nana? You started great. The vision was awesome. I remember in one of your campaigns earlier on, you talked about BIG. It's an acronym, BIG. And do you remember, Nana, what BIG stands for? Ghana for Mokai. BIG stood for Believe in Ghana. My God. What a rallying call for patriotism for anybody who was competing to be president, saying, I believe in Ghana. Because that's the biggest problem we have in this country, is that nobody believes in Ghana anymore. Yeah, say to the extent that we don't believe in it because we have messed it up. So when Nana says believe in Ghana, I thought it was a really appropriate slogan. Nana, you could have been a champion, or you could have been a contender. Not just I believe in Ghana. Let me fast forward small to when you got to the point where you talked about Ghana beyond aid. Massa, that was one of the loveliest thinking for anybody who wants to lead Ghana, to say, I am going to establish a Ghana without aid, because the perennial problem of Ghana has been, Sir President Biya goes to the begging bowl, begging for money, aid. We've been to the World Bank, IMF, I'm sorry, 17 times. Dang. And we're going to go more. 10 Biya next, begging for money. So when you came and you said, you want to build a Ghana that can thrive on Ghana without aid, I said, this man is a contender. This man can be a champion. You didn't end there. You said something too that was so significant. Me, I'll never forget. You said what we have in Ghana now is the Georgesburg economy. And that is what you want to unravel. Dismantle the Georgesburg economy. For me, as a nationalist and as a patriot, those were words to my ears, actually. We have to dismantle the Georgesburg economy. Folks, what is the Georgesburg economy? It simply meant that our economy was still a legacy of the colonial heritage. And once that we are now independent, it is not working well. We haven't done the transformation to an independent, working, productive economy. And I'll describe when I say we are operating a Gettysburg economy. I salute you for that. So, folks, what I'm saying is that Nana, you had it all. You had the ball. You dropped the ball, but you had it. You could have been a champion, Nana. You could have been a contender in the African space. Ghana beyond aid, fighting the Gettysburg economy. And so for us, nationalists, that was an awakening for us, Charlie. This man, dear, his vision is to believe in Ghana. His vision is to overturn the legacy of the colonial heritage that we had. And so we were so happy. So extremely happy. And so, folks, when Nana met Macron, I think he's the president of France. Most of you do not remember that meeting. But Nana, at that meeting, you spoke like a champion of Africa. You spoke like a contender. You spoke words of wisdom that every African leader or any leader of an African country who has taken over, the things they need to do and say, you could have been a champion. But here's the thing, Nana. You had the ball. You seem to have had the vision, but you dropped the ball. And as I say, drop the ball is just an expression which means you failed. But it goes deeper than just failure. That's why I'm asking all of you, go to your Google, go to your AI, and just type in, explain, drop the ball. You dropped the ball, Nana. Look, listen to yourself at that speech. I want you to listen to yourself at that speech where you were telling the president of France that we appreciate them, we appreciate that they want to help, but it is not their responsibility to help. And basically what you told Macron was that the responsibility to build Africa and your French problem, and yet taxpayers of French problem, it is a problem for we Ghanaians. We have the responsibility to build Ghana. And he told that to Macron. Honestly, when you were talking, I was saying, I don't know, catch you actually Macron. France in Wabasra, and Wapik Tisiko, and then you are beefing all your thing on him. You should be telling the Ghanaian people that I believe we should believe in Ghana. We should strive for Ghana without aid. Not the president Obitram. Look at that small boy. And I'll show you some clips of that. But I want you to listen to some of the key things he said and now react to that. There was one point he was saying that we need to do everything ourselves. Listen to this.
We can no longer continue to make policy for ourselves, in our country, in our region, in our continent, on the basis of whatever support the Western world or France or the European Union can give us. It will not work. It has not worked, and it will not work. Our responsibility is to charter a path which is about how we can develop our nations ourselves. It is not right for a country like Ghana, 60 years after independence, to still have its health and education budgets being financed on the basis of the generosity and charity of European taxpayers. By now, we should be able to finance our basic needs ourselves. Our main responsibility as leaders, as citizens, is what we need to do to grow our own countries. What are the institutions that work, that will allow us to have good governance, to have accountable governance, to make sure that the monies that are placed at the disposal of leaders are used for the interests of the state and not for those of the leaders, to have systems that allow for accountability, that allow for diversity, that allow for people to be able to express themselves and contribute to fashioning the public will and the public interest. Our concern should be with what do we need to do in this 21st century to move Africa away from being cap in hand and begging for aid, for charity, for handouts. The African continent, when you look at its resources, should be giving monies to other places. We have huge wealth on this continent. in our own country of Ghana. And we need to have a mindset that says, we can do it.
Did you hear that, folks? Truer words were never spoken. The need for Africa to wake up and rebuild and depend on ourselves. Now catch Macron. For whatever reason you told Macron, that's okay. But the things you said, do you remember, Nana, the things you said about the Ghanaian youth who are traversing the horrors of the desert and going to other lands, and how we should put an end to that? I want you to listen to what you said.
These young men who are showing so much resilience and ingenuity in crossing the Sahara, finding ways to go across with rickety boats across the Mediterranean to really, those energies, we want to have those energies working inside our countries. And we're going to have those energies working in our countries if we begin to build systems that tell the young people of our country that their hopes, their opportunity are right here with us.
You are watching
Migration and the movement of people
Hot news all time.
is being presented in a manner which suggests that somehow it's a new phenomenon. There's nothing new about it. It's as old as man, the movement of people. And it has always been linked to the same thing. The failure of where you are to provide you with an opportunity, so you move somewhere else. Italian young people are in Italy. Irish young people are in Ireland. We want young Africans to stay in Africa, to forego this hazardous effort to get to Europe. They're not going there because they want to. They're going there because they don't believe they have any opportunities in our countries. So that should be our focus.
You heard him, folks. Said the youth of Ghana who are traversing the desert to go to other lands. And another thing that I find interesting, that you talked about the energy that they have to Jakpa, the ingenuity they are using to Jakpa. Why we can't keep all of them in Ghana? You said that's the Ghana you want to see, where we take care of our youth so that there's no need for them to Jakpa like that. And you know Jakpa, living in the shores of Ghana. That was your vision. And folks, let me say today, and you the youth out there, my boy, come and tell me, there's more Jakpa in Ghana than any time in my 68 years of life. First, it used to be like those who were not very, very well connected. Say everybody wants to go. Doctors are leaving, nurses are leaving, lawyers are leaving, educated, everybody a Jakpa. Some are going through the right ways. They go to the visa. Some too are going through the desert. All because they have lost hope in Ghana. And now you could have been a contender. If you had really worked on this vision of believe in Ghana and inculcated that in the youth of Ghana, for all of Ghanaians to believe in Ghana, but you're telling the French president, Macron, what on that day? I remember when you did that, I think I put a tweet out that it was a very, very, very solid thing you said, but my thing was that this was a mission. I said you were talking to Ghanaians and not to that Frenchman on your phone. And the thing about this interaction with Macron, all my friends, my African American friends from abroad, Charlie, KSM, your president was great. We loved what he said, man. KSM does a great man. Nana, you dropped the ball. You had it. You could have been a contender. What happened? What happened? You dropped the ball. Ghana beyond it. The gorgeous big economy. I believe in Ghana. What happened? That when you came, even when you came and things were tough and rough, and everybody was saying go to the IMF. I remember then Ken was the finance minister. Or see Ghana, we have pride. Yenko IMF China.
But I can tell you, as my colleague, Deputy Minister said, we are not going to the IMF. Whatever we do, we are not. The consequences are there. We are a proud nation. We have the resources. we have the capacity, a proud, strong people, the shining star of Africa.
We had pride. What happened, Nana? How did we drop the ball that we have to go back to the IMF? Not only that, Nana. After schooling Macron about how all of Africa should stop our needless dependency on them. After that, too, listen to what he said.
We can no longer continue to make policy for ourselves, in our country, in our region, in our continent, on the basis of whatever support the Western world or France or the European Union can give us. It will not work. It has not worked, and it will not work. Our responsibility is to charter a path which is about how we can develop our nations ourselves. It is not right for a country like Ghana, 60 years after independence, to still have its health and education budgets being financed on the basis of the generosity and charity of European taxpayers. By now, we should be able to finance our basic needs ourselves. Our main responsibility as leaders, as citizens, is what we need to do to grow our own countries. What are the institutions that work, that will allow us to have good governance, to have accountable governance, to make sure that the monies that are placed at the disposal of leaders are used for the interests of the state and not for those of the leaders, to have systems that allow for accountability, that allow for diversity, that allow for people to be able to express themselves and contribute to fashioning the public will and the public interest. Our concern should be with what do we need to do in this 21st century to move Africa away from being cap in hand and begging for aid, for charity, for handouts. The African continent, when you look at its resources, should be giving monies to other places. We have huge wealth on this continent, in our own country of Ghana. And we need to have a mindset that says we can do it.
Beautiful, eh? I feel like applauding for that revolutionary fire. We don't need you to become a babysitters. We can do it on our own. And now we jumped on the plane, went back to the same person for aid. Jesus Christ, you dropped the ball. And now you guys, you are lucky, Macron, Bruni. I don't think even took Nana serious when Nana was talking. Let me just give you a clip of just watch him talking and watch his reaction. Watch his reaction. He's looking away here, there. Do you know why? As you, Africa for that was his reaction. Did we prove him wrong? No. Soon after that, we were over in France to beg for money. Nana, you dropped the ball. I'm telling you today that you could have been a champion. You could have been a contender. Even from the point I started with BIG, then I went to Beyond Aid and everything. But let me take you even further back to the times of campaigning, when we were looking at the economy and how the Ghana cedi to the dollar rate under Mahama. Let me keep quiet. Let me take you back to the days of how you address this issue. And the purpose of the video we're going to watch is that I want you to understand what inspired Nana Addo to bring Bawumia. Oh, let me put it this way. What inspired His Excellency Nana Addo to bring in His Excellency Bawumia as his running mate? He actually made a reference to Bawumia having worked as deputy governor under Akufo. Let me keep quiet. Listen to what he said here, then we'll be right back.
$1, 1 cedi. In the time of Mills and Mahama, 2 cedis, $1. In Akufo's time, one of the people who advised and helped him develop a strong cedi was my running mate, Muhammadu Bawumia. Then he was deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana. It's one of the reasons I brought him to come and join me, that we will welcome the CD and create again a strong CD that will be able to allow us to develop our economy and allow our traders and our to be able.
Yes, so Bawumia came on so that we can change the dynamics, so that we can change, according to Nana Addo, so that we can break from the Georgesburg economy, so that we can move away from this dependency on this colonial heritage. Let's do our own thing. So that is why he brought the whiskey Bawumia on. And when Bawumia came on, he too said the same thing. You all heard him, I don't have to repeat anything. He said the economy, the fundamentals are so weak. And that is why the exchange rate is exposing all of us. You know, for me, Abia Bawumia, you are thinking differently. But for me, when we talk about a weak fundamentals of economy in Africa, the number one reason is that the economy is still a legacy of the colonial heritage. In Akufo's words, the economy is still a Georgesburg economy. So when Bawumia was talking about we have to change the fundamentals and the weakness of the yeah, basically he was saying, I've been brought in to do this. I have been brought in to do this, to change this weak economy. And as Nana Addo was saying in the thing, Akufo's $1, 1 CD, and Mahama $1, 3 CDs, or whatever it is. Folks, what do we have now? Bawumia, Your Excellency Bawumia, you put your president under the bus. What you say? Say, in order to look good, that you are the best man to inherit the situation, in order to look good, you had to demean your boss. And that's exactly what you did, though. You put him under the bus. Saying, oh, media, most of the things that happened, I had nothing to do with it. I was just a vice, and a vice is a mate. So you put Nana Addo under the bus. I am trying to find the word. Say, basically you dissed him. Say, he was the one that didn't handle things well. And you'd have changed many things. That's what you told us. And right now, your campaign is that the things that MPP, of which you are the vice president and still the head of the college management team, the things that they did, that they put in motion, your campaign is that Mrs. Anina. Hey, Ghana do. What to be that? The things that you put in motion as MPP, as a vice president, that is in motion now. Betting tax, e-levy, name them, the tax, importation tax, MPP, put in motion. Your campaign message is that when you come, you're going to cut out all of that. And Ghanaians are also working, cheering you, yay. Something I don't understand. Those who understand, God bless you and praise you. But you understand that. But folks, getting back to the point, Nana Addo dropped the ball. The vision, the expectation was so high. It was unbelievable. And 8 years later, what do we have to show for? All we have to show for is a new candidate for the same party, saying that when I come, I was crap, most of the things that we implemented. I remember some interview that somebody said, but why are you waiting till when you come? Scrap it now. If you think they are no good, then let's hear of you. But if I scrap them now, what will I do when I come to power?
I wanted to do these tax reforms, import duty, flat tax, tax amnesty, and so on. But why don't I do it now? And why do I want to? I must have a manifesto. Otherwise, if I do everything now, if I could, what would I do when I come into office? I mean, how can you do everything now?
Me pacho, with all respect, all you followers and sticker fans, you understand why I'm saying this, but trust me, that statement was a sign of a political novice. Don't you say go and check out the word political novice? How? Folks, everything has gone haywire. Everything has gone haywire. Bawumia spoke recently, and I want to show that to make my point here, because he spoke to suggest that, oh, what are Ghanaians complaining about, but the city depreciation crime, it was not as bad as the time and this was. You know that childish, petty, comparative politics that we do. I call it comparisonitis. We compare this to compare that needlessly. Let me just stop. Take a listen to what he said about why the CD is in this state now. Listen to this.
On the performance of the CD exchange rate, it is also interesting to note that between 2013 and 2016, just before we came into office, the CD depreciated by an average of 17.7% annually. But since 2016, between 2017 and 2020, there was a significant decline in CD depreciation to an average of 7.5%. The average CD depreciation further declined to 6.8% between 2017 and 2021. However, the 30% depreciation of the CD in 2022 resulted in the average depreciation of the CD.
Okay, yeah. But if I should say it bluntly, what you're saying, Crano, you seem to be struggling with whatever you want to come up with. And you did a speech to explain the depreciation. Massa, you're an economist, and you agree with me that what matters most are the absolute values at the relative periods. That's it. So what all this trying to explain, Your Excellency Dr. Bawumia, the dollar now is almost 17 cedis. That is not why the President Nana Addo brought you on to take it from the 4 Ghana cedis you're complaining to almost 17. And still, you look at Ghanaians in the face and you have the guts to tell us that no, still, things are better. Still. I mean, how does that work? I want to take you back, to what his president said when he was justifying why he brought you on as the vice. That in that day, he was comparing. And he said that $1 was 2 cedis. Listen to what he said.
$1, 1 CD. In the time of Mills and Mahama, 2 CDs, $1. In Akufo's time, one of the people who advised and helped him develop a strong CD was my running mate, Muhammadu Bawumia. Then he was deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana. It's one of the reasons I brought him to come and join me, that we will welcome the CD and create again a strong CD that will be able to allow us to develop our economy and allow...
Listen to what he said he would have done if he was supervising that reckless depreciation. I hope I not say 1 to 2. But listen to what he said he would have done. If
I was done, I would say to the people of Ghana, I'm sorry. We are sorry for the poor work we have done.
Oh my God. Mr. President, they would have said what?
If I was done, I would say to the people of Ghana, I'm sorry. We are sorry for the poor work we have done. We're going to go and think about ourselves.
But they didn't say, I'm sorry. But let me ask you, Mr. President, why do you think they didn't apologize for that? Tell us.
The fruits of office the money under the table has become sweet for them, so they're determined to stay.
Oh, I see. So there's money under their table and they're enjoying it. Is that what you're saying? Can you say that again?
The money under the table has become sweet for them, so they're determined to stay.
So my question is this. Now, look at the exchange rate. 1 to almost 17. Is there any reason that you haven't said you are sorry? Or his vice hasn't said he's sorry? Or, as you say, is it because there's some money under the table that you're enjoying? I don't know. You tell me. Maybe I'm only asking. You're giving the reasons why they didn't say I'm sorry. And if it was you, you would have apologized. And I'm saying that the dollar is close to 17. But I haven't heard anybody look Ghanaians in the face and say, Charlie, I am sorry. Why? Is it because the answer you gave? Is there some money under the table? I don't know. So you have a few more months, you know. Is this when we're going to get the apology? You still have time. And Honorable Dr. His Excellency Dr. Bawumia, who is keen on breaking the 8. Is there an apology coming? Or we should wait for you to always explain how the depreciation makes you even a better economist? Over to you.
Na asemwa abeto dwai tifo yenyina no yadwenkyere ne yedema ewo mu se ne o ka no nokre se ohwe Akufo Addo abreso a enema bebre a omo de ye campaign na eno eka ho ohwe dollar no se ne no omo ka ho asema eno wo de ye campaign but si a ne ba sa no ama entekyeremu no akoye bibia ho but yenyina ye nim ensema eba wiase pandemic enema de baaye e de how bebre ene baaye ye wo UK how me wo America duru ebia obia complain nti ama enema bebre bo asesa ohwe asetina mu edan ne ade chese bibia asesa enti no me mom de madwen ne say because of sanya man de aba no o ka se nipa ne kirikiri mu a obetimi a kire mu a koduru bia oboya wonte ase but so we are now when near by COVID time. Send a baby spend on the country and yes, I'm Kitwa. It's a better Bawumia say. Now, okay, and you say, it's a mono de Obetrima, a bintias. But a name of my day, or hanging him said, no more thing. Ubusa, production manager, Nankasa Kranoa, Keba TV, Ubusana, or better say, and your master. Because first in the UK, sending an material hand. And yes, I know, of course, it's here. It's my dream time.
KSM TV, voice of the voices.